Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to review Lorie Lad. It's another one with a huge following. Don't get me wrong, you know, we do have the potential to change the dynamics on this planet, and we do have the potential to make it something great, but what they're promoting is inaction, even though they deny that that's what they say. You know, we just got to think high vibes and we're all going to get there that way. So let's have a look. See, the first thing that I notice again with all these people is it's the tone of the voice. It's all very love and light, you know, very, I don't know, there's something that comes across as fake. I mean, if I started talking like this all of a sudden, I'm sure my followers would say, Tony, what happened to you? But a lot of them speak in this very like kind of fake light voice, very kind of hypnotic. That's the first thing that I'm picking up here.
Now each of us, you and I, so there's no right or wrong.
Right, here we go. She's saying there's no right or wrong. There is a right and a wrong to everything. There's a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. And this is what these New Agers want people to believe. They want people to believe that evil, negativity, bad behaviour is, that there's no difference, and we should just accept that as part of this reality. And yeah, it's a huge deception, because if you start going along those lines of there's no right and wrong, then where does it end? Where does it end? And this is what Magenta Pixie was saying, that we shouldn't hold any grudges towards evil, or we should forgive evil. And if people are believing that there's no right or wrong, then that's what they'll do. And basically, essentially what it's doing is letting evil off the hook, which of course, if you're a controlling force, and you know that people hold the power, you're going to want to disable that. And how do you do that? Well, you say there's no right or wrong, just forgive evil, all part of the reality.
We've agreed to incarnate into. We've agreed to incarnate into. But unconsciously, we agreed. Consciously, many of us don't really think that we agreed to all of this, but we did. Okay, now, in this...
Yeah, again, so if you're new to this and you see all this tyranny playing out and she's telling you that you agreed to this, well then what are you going to do? You're going to be more likely to just accept it for what it is. You're going to be more likely to not take any action. You're going to be more likely to not resist, because you'll just sit there. This is why it's dangerous. You'll just sit there on your fluffy cloud with your pet unicorn, sitting back telling people it's just part of the process. It's complete inaction.
And when you start to hold higher states of consciousness, you naturally begin to see how you've been controlled, how you've been manipulated, what has actually been happening behind the scenes. You can see the dark, you can see the density, you see beyond the illusion.
Yeah, then what?
And this is what the ascension is all about.
Yeah, here we go. The ascension is all about seeing and not doing. So sit back, watch it all unravel, watch our kids being sent to school, wearing a face nappy all day. So it's all about observing. There's never any talk of doing anything with that knowledge.
We're designed to come back into our bodies, into our sovereignty, into our voice, into our truth, into our choice, and exit, detach from all the systems that have told us that they have the answers, that they have the truth, that they have our best interest at hand, that they know what is best for us, that they are going to heal us, that they are going to fix us, etc., etc., etc.
So hypnotic. A lot of repetition going on. Repetition is a form of hypnosis. That's why politicians use it so much. That's why when they make these speeches and they're constantly saying how free we are, well, if we're that free, we don't need to be kept reminded of that. But that's what they do. They repeat words over and over again that sink into the subconscious. And she's here staring with the hypnotic stare, repeating things.
You cannot exit this matrix without seeing the matrix you're in. You cannot hold love and light.
Oh, there it is. Fake love and light.
All different types of consciousnesses, systems in place, political, educational, government,
Now she's just repeating what she's just said. She's just repeating exactly what she's just said here now. There's kind of no point to this. She's saying that you need to see it. Well, yeah, that's stage one. That's the first step. Understanding or understanding that we're slaves, and that, yeah, she's correct, that these systems are set up to, yeah, box up our consciousness. But there's no talk of what you do from that point. Just be aware of the fact that you're in a matrix, and that doesn't go far enough. being aware does not go far enough.
Financial, religious, they're all with us. But these systems are in a lower frequency than where your body is starting to shift into. And so as your lights turn on, as your eyes wake up, as you wake up, you see into them. It's about understanding what is actually happening right now on this planetary body in the human collective and in you.
More buzzwords.
Because think about it, when you start to increase frequency within your body, you start to see more of your shadow. You start to see more of your trauma. You start to feel more. You start to heal. It's inevitable. You can't not see.
Yeah, that's not true. Just by coming into awareness, it doesn't like heal your trauma. You don't just naturally start to heal yourself. You become aware of your trauma, then you have to go through it. You have to do the inner work. You have to face it. You have to face that dark night of the soul. You just don't wake up and then all of a sudden, because you're aware, you're living in a matrix. Again, it's just another very subtle way of teaching inaction. All right, you're aware. Then what? You know, there's way more to do than just to become aware that we're in a matrix.
It. When you were in a lower state of consciousness, you didn't see it. It's the same with the external. We are not designed to be controlled. When you are in a 5D state, you are not controlled. When you are in a
5D state. These people who are promoting a 5D state are trying to get me taken off YouTube, trying to get my videos taken down. So these people are apparently in 5D. Why would they be concerned of me if they're in 5D and they're in these high frequency states? You know, there's people that believe all this, that actually walk around thinking that they're in 5D. They've just drunk a whole load of Kool-Aid, they've got some awareness, they're sitting back allowing, and they're just thinking that they're just going to naturally gravitate towards this fifth dimension that she talks of, and this new earth, this buzzword that you hear so much in these videos. Yeah, it's just baloney.
5D state, other people don't tell you what to do. When you are in a 5D state, the systems that are around you are not based on greed, on making money.
So hang on a minute. These people that are in a 5D state, they're not in lockdown, they don't have to pay for food, they don't have to pay for a roof over their head, they're not living under political tyranny, they're not having their rights and freedoms taken away. I mean, where are these people that are living in that reality? All I've got from this video is become aware and you'll ascend.
What is beyond the illusion. It takes courage to allow yourselves to feel and see what is inside of you. The trauma that's still there, that needs to be felt and seen. It takes courage. It's inevitable. You cannot exit the matrix. I'll say this again. You'll watch it happen in history as we unravel this, as we go through this, as we evolve. Most humans that are going to be evolving into higher states of consciousness are inevitably going to be faced with looking at systems that they believed, that they trusted, that they thought had their best interests at hand, actually didn't, because those systems were based on foundations of greed, manipulation, control.
It's just repeating again the same thing. It's just nothing. It's just, there's no substance in it.
That from a higher perspective, we always knew this is what we were going to come into. We're not victims to this. We knew exactly what this was going to be like. We knew exactly what we were going to be doing. We knew exactly what the systems were designed out of, what they were the foundations of them. We knew all of this.
I'm pretty bored now, I have to admit.
So you want to have patience with yourself and with every other human that is learning how to adapt and understand what this entire evolution in consciousness means. It can take a long...
Yeah, the whole idea of patience right now, we need to wake up pretty quickly and we need to act upon the knowledge that we have. It's more a time of urgency than sitting back, allowing and being patient. We're not in that time now.
But again, it is impossible to shift into New Earth, to shift into 5D, to stand in love and light all the time.
God's sake. These people...
The human collective...
Tell you how energy works. One of the strongest ways you can manipulate energy is by engaging your willpower. It's about righteous anger, and this is the other thing that these people are propagating. The idea that you should never get angry about anything. When anger drives us into action, and we engage our will, our human will, that willpower, to go out and make changes, not in just our own lives, but as a collective as well. Taking that knowledge in, and then at that point where you see all of this that she's talking about over and over again, right, I've got enough knowledge now, what do I do with this knowledge? I need to speak my truth, I need to write a blog, I need to make a video, I need to contribute. Willpower, particularly when hundreds of thousands and millions of people act upon it, will change this planet and will make it a better place. Having an awareness and doing nothing with it won't. That will ensure that tyranny continues to play out. Because the whole reason that we are in this mess right now is because we have been ignoring the negative for so long and not acting upon it. We've been allowing these psychopaths to have their wars, to tax us illegally and whatever. And we've allowed and allowed and allowed, even though a lot of people can see it as well, and they know that the world's corrupt. We've got to this point by basically kind of doing what she's saying. And so, to really change things, the biggest thing is intention, will, and action in this 3D physical plane, where you need to take action to change things. If I want a new house, I've either got to pay for it, or I've got to get someone to build it for me. It's not just going to appear.
More and more of us, until more and more and more of us start to really courageously see it. The human collective will still be in this third dimensional matrix, but we are shifting out of it. Slowly but surely we are, as more and more bodies turn on, hold higher frequencies, and say, holy cow, look at what we've been in. Again, one last time, when you move into higher states of consciousness, when you are in a 5D field, a new earth, whatever you want to call it, nobody in the external is telling you what to do.
It's complete bullshit. Of course they're still telling us what to do. People that think they're in that state of consciousness, that 5D, new earth consciousness, it's just so much cringe.
What resonates with you? What feels good to you?
Again, very hypnotic with the hands again, the hypnotic stare, the hypnotic tone of the voice that you typically get with a lot of these New Agers. This is basically what the New Age movement is. It's hypnosis with a dash of Kool-Aid. Right now we live as of what we're seeing. That is what is really happening in the now on this planet. There are lockdowns, there are people losing their businesses, there are kids being sent to indoctrination camps to be subjected to horrific stuff. That is really happening. You don't get to choose that that's not happening. The only way you get to choose that that's not happening is if as many of us as possible take action, say no, and that's how you change it. You don't just sit there on your cloud thinking, oh, today I'm going to be in 5D, so I'm not going to look at anything negative because that's not my timeline, that's not my reality. It's like the whole transgender thing, where now you can wake up and you can be anything of like 80 different sexualities. You can wake up one morning and think that you're a dolphin, and you can probably sue people if they don't treat you as a dolphin. You don't just get to choose your reality. You can choose to wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to be in a positive mood today, but you're still subject to the same coercion that everyone else is subject to. And that's the difference. They want you to think that if you think 5D, New Earth, is going to somehow take you out of what is really happening. And you speak to a lot of these New Agers, and they believe this. And they passively aggressively come back at you and say you've chosen a negative timeline. When they're already existing on a negative timeline, they just believe that somehow, using their love and light concepts, that they're out of that.
Instead of what's happening right now in the human collective, which is more manipulation, more control, more fear, more greed, more censorship. These are all consciousnesses that are getting louder and louder so that we can see them, so that we can choose to exit the matrix and not be a part of it anymore. Choosing to no longer participate and give our power, our voice, our choice, our beingness away to anything external that is asking for it. This is the natural process of evolution in consciousness, and your body is consciousness, i.e. energy. This is how we ascend. We all will eventually courageously awaken to this.
There's nothing courageous about what you said.
The systems that have been keeping us chained, believing that we are not sovereign when we have always been sovereign. We are learning to come back home right here and exit the matrix, exit the systems, and courageously take charge of our lives all over again. Using voice, using choice, using behaviors, using beingness. That's what we're doing. It's miraculous. I love you. Thank you for being here.
Well, what do you make of that, guys? Leave a comment. As normal, found it pretty hard to watch, pretty cringy, lots of buzzwords, very hypnotic, the way they stare into the camera like that, and really just nothingness. There's no real substance behind the video. It's just become aware, and you'll ascend to 5D. That was the message that she kept repeating over and over again. There was no kind of what course of action you need to take. Just be aware, just be in 5D, and just float along on your happy cloud. So guys, if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe, and I look forward to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.